Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Making with the Manufacturers. Now not last week, but the week before, I did do papers from close to my heart, and now we're going to move on. So actually, in order, after the close to my heart papers, I have the Echo Park, because Echo Park fits an entire one right here. But I am going alphabetical order, so I'm going to do Cocoa Vanilla. So I'm going to pull out my Cocoa Vanilla. I also have the No Limits, which is next to me because I'm using it for Star Wars layouts. So let's see, I've got this piece of paper here. This from Boys Rule. Legendary, another Legendary, Unforgettable, 2 Unforgettables. More Than Words, Daydream, love that yellow, some more Daydream, some more Daydream, a little bit more Daydream, Wild at Heart, Happiness, and then this piece of Unforgettable. So a couple of these my friend MK gave me while we were at retreat, and I think that they are absolutely gorgeous. But let's take a peek and see which ones I want to use. So I think I'm going to use these 3. So we're going to use 3. That pink is way too pink. So yeah. All right. These 3, they're all from Daydream. So now that I've picked out my papers, let's see what I can do. Alright guys, so I am actually going to be scrapbooking this picture of Chloe and her friends at college. Now, I don't know exactly what they were doing here, and I don't know her friend's name, so I'm going to have to text her a picture of this layout to get some information so I can actually write it down on the layout. Yeah, it's one of the pictures she sent to me or the family chat, something, and I saved it. So I don't want to not have Chloe and Lana and Alex in the chronological albums when they're not living here. So I just want to go ahead and make sure that I document them sometimes too. So I am using the 3 pieces of paper. Now I decided to go ahead and flip this around so that the blue was on the outside. Since this piece of paper is so pink, I don't mind covering up a lot of the pink color. However, if I would have kept it on the other side, it would have been stripes of pink and this big old block of color of pink, and that did not seem like a fun time to me. Now, I wasn't expecting to use the opposite side of the layout, but the gray is there, so I went ahead and used it because there is actually gray in the striped paper. Now, I was looking for the last Making with the Manufacturers video that I did, and I neglected to put the manufacturer in the title, so I had to start watching my video, and the words were there. You know, when YouTube does the words on their own? Well, apparently I say and a lot more than I thought I did. So going to be consciously working on not saying that. Now these are rainbows. They, and I just said it again. They are in the Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection. However, I'm using it as a humper, which is a border. So now I've got the word days. This word, it was not just days. There were other words that came with this in the die cuts. However, I used the other words already and still had days, so I figure I can come up with some sort of title to make days into a real title. Now I have these 3 blue flowers, so I'm going to put them over here on the right hand side because basically I need to cover up and fill in all of this white space. Technically, I guess it's pink space, but there is a lot of expansive space right there that needs to be covered up. Now, this little die cut circle thing actually matches the collection. However, it doesn't really go anywhere on the layout. Now, I'm pulling in some of my 49 and Market Spectrum pieces, and I keep these kind of divided into the two colors that they came in. And I am just going to introduce a couple of these pieces onto this layout. The colors are not an exact match, but they're close enough where I'm happy with it, and I don't feel like the yellows are competing. I don't feel like the pinks are competing. They just kind of all meld together, and that makes me ridiculously happy, because even though I'm trying to work through all of my papers alphabetically, I mean, this series has been going on a while with some breaks in between for other things, but I'm only on C, right? Like, I'm only on C. So lots and lots of papers. I will say that I do have a completely empty paper holder, and I have a completely empty paper holder with buying a bunch of paper. So I would actually have two empty paper holders, but I kind of went ham and bought a bunch of basic gray, and that fills up almost an entire paper holder by itself now. I did have a hunk of basic gray, but I have a lot more, and I have them in collection packs, and I haven't even opened the collection packs, and I'm okay with that. I'm hoarding it for a little bit, and it's fine, right? Like, I'm using my paper, and if I want to hold on to that for just a minute while I'm working through my other papers, that's totally fine. My Echo Park has gone down tremendously as well. Many of my manufacturers have gone down, and that is what's making me happy. Speaking of happy, my title is going to be Happy Super Sweet Days. Like I said, no idea what's going on. I don't know if this was church or a meeting or what. I honestly don't know what they were doing, but I will get the information and write it down on the layout. So there has been some talk recently about what people wear while they're doing videos, and I do have my watch on, and that is because I just needed one more hour for my stand goal, and I closed all three of my rings. So that is on there. Most of the time I don't scrapbook with any jewelry or watches or anything like that on. Most of the time, because when I'm home, I'm kind of in comfy clothes and really not, you know, paying attention to how beautiful I am. So yeah. Now I'm going to go ahead and build a little bit of a cluster over here. Had I more florals, this would have been a much bigger floral cluster, but I don't have more florals, so I'm working with what I have. I have these two leafy bits. So I go ahead and place a label and the Best Buds chipboard, and then I'm going to pop up the one pink flower that I have and place it on there as well. So now this is where I would put some journaling. The date needs to go on that label, and the journaling will go down on this pink area that is down at the bottom, kind of that open, expansive space right there. Not as expansive as the upper space where I had my title and my flowers covering that up. So I pull out these kind of iridescent gemstones, and I'm using the pink ones, and I'm using the large, medium, and the small. I'm going to put them in a triangle, and then I am going to just place them on 3 different parts of the page. Now, there we go. I said, I probably said it a bunch more and I didn't even realize it. I am going to go ahead and use the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I find this wet adhesive works beautifully. It works wonders. And I totally stand behind it. I love it. I sell it in my shop. I use it all the time. It stays on my desk. It's the only liquid adhesive that I have consistently used and rebought and rebought and rebought. The other liquid adhesives, So I also decide to take some of these little gold enamel dots from Paper Studio and pop them up on my flowers, and that just gives it a little tiny bit of sparkle. And then to finish it off, my favorite gold splatter, Brutus Monroe Chroma Mist in Ornament Gold. I'm just going to splatter that basically all over the page because I want that little tiny bit of Shining Shimmering Splendid all over my layout. So now I've got to go text Chloe and find out who these girls are and what they were doing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for joining me for Making with the Manufacturers. Let me know, do you have Cocoa Vanilla Studio in your stash? And I will see you guys again real soon for another video.